After this video, you'll never get denied for business funding ever again, because I'm gonna go ahead and break down the 3 most common mistakes that entrepreneurs make, and that's the reason why they're not getting funded. So guys, before we go ahead and get into this video, go ahead and make sure to subscribe. Your boy's on the road to 10K, so let's go ahead and get into 10K subscribers as soon as possible. All right, so if you actually want to go ahead and get money from the bank, you have to understand their approval process. You can't just go ahead and walk into a bank blindsided. So if you actually want to go ahead and save yourself the time and also the heartache, go ahead and walk into a bank, apply it without knowing any of their qualifications, and they'll actually send you a letter based on the denial reasons, which is the reasons why you actually got denied. So if you really want to avoid this, you have to understand how the banks work and also how they're approving applications. So the most important thing with getting approval credit right is literally being able to have comparable credit. So the most important thing that banks look at, especially when approving an application, is going to be comparable credit. Banks are always going to go ahead and approve you based off your credit profile. Now you might go ahead and actually have a 720 credit score, but the thing is, if you don't have any high limits or all you have is credit builder accounts, you're most likely not going to get approved. And if you do, you'll get you a very, very low limit. And as a business owner that's trying to build his business, you don't want to go ahead and get you low limits. So really what you want to do instead is understand exactly how the banks work and also exactly their process. So the thing is with entrepreneurship, it's a very, very bumpy road. At the end of the day, you could definitely go ahead and scale your business with just cash, but realistically, how long would that take you? It would easily take you about 5 to 10 years to be able to go ahead and get to that level where you want to be at, because you actually have to go ahead and wait instead of being able to go ahead and have credit to go ahead and get more inventory. Your growth is always going to be limited to the cash that you have on hand. Think about it. If you have a great product, if you have a great offer, and you also have a good fulfillment, then why wouldn't you go in and actually get credit in order to be able to go in and scale your business? To me, if you have a great company and you're scared to get credit, you don't necessarily believe in your company as much as say you do. If you can already get sales to the door, why wouldn't you go ahead and put more gas to the fire and be able to go ahead and actually use advertising, buy more inventory, so then you can actually be able to go ahead and sell more and actually make more money. So that's one of the main benefits of having business funding. And also, if you're a business owner, if you have that credit available, it's going to allow you to focus on your customers and not necessarily your bank account. Now, if you're applying for business funding, the most important things you have to understand is exactly what banks look for. Now, that's exactly why I want to go ahead and break down the 3 most common mistakes I see entrepreneurs make, especially whenever they want to get funded. So if you don't want any credit, just simply do these. The first mistake that I see entrepreneurs make is applying with a high-risk industry such as trucking, real estate, or even credit repair. So whenever banks lend out money, they keep a lot of data on exactly which businesses they lend to and also what industry they're in. So if they see they lend out a lot of money to trucking, for example, and there's a lot of defaults, then they're automatically going to go ahead and deem it as high risk. So that should already tell you, if you're applying with that actual business, you're most likely not going to get the funding that you want. So instead of trying to go ahead and fight an uphill battle, really what you should do instead is just go ahead and apply with a low risk business industry. You can apply with marketing, you can apply with tech, you can apply with consulting. If it's not considered a high risk industry for certain banks, because you got to keep in mind, there's been a lot of people that have been doing consulting, so now it's kind of deemed as high risk with certain banks. But what you really want to do, right, is go and apply with these low-risk business industries. At the end of the day, think about it, right? So I never go ahead and tell somebody to lie to a bank, but you have to realize that every business that exists actually does marketing and some type of consulting, whether they actually know it or not. So if you want the best chances on getting approved, so go ahead and actually apply with the low-risk business industry. Second mistake I see entrepreneurs make is applying with a thin credit file. I mean, any credit profile that has 5 or less accounts. At the end of the day, the bank's not dumb. They go through applications left and right, and they know exactly what to look for, and also the applications that get approved and the ones that get denied. But if you haven't shown a great track record and also have been able to go ahead and manage multiple different accounts, then just don't simply apply. You're honestly going to waste your time. And one thing to really keep in mind, right, is a lot of people, they apply with a lot of credit builder accounts such as Tomo or Ava, which are great to be able to go and actually build out your credit report, but you don't want to have more than one of those accounts on your actual credit profile, because the banks actually know it's a credit builder account and they actually consider a tier 4 account. So it really doesn't hold as much weight as people think it does. So if you actually have a thin credit file, just go ahead and simply build up your credit properly, so then you can be able to get approved for high limits. So think about it. Let's say, for example, even if you do get approved, right, they'll approve you for $1,000 to $2,000 at max. And if you could have waited 3 to 4 months more, you literally could have got approved for limits such as $30,000 or even $50,000. Now, last but not least, the third mistake that I obviously people make, especially when applying for business credit, is applying and having more than 30% utilization on their credit profile. The last thing you want to do, right, is apply with the high utilization, because what does that tell the bank? Because at the end of the day, what does that really tell the bank? If you can't currently manage the credit that you have, they won't give you more credit. So whenever I was applying, right, I'd realize that if I'm applying with 50%, 40%, or even about 60% utilization, I'm automatically going to go ahead and get denied. So really what I would do right is apply with 10 or even 5% utilization. That's definitely going to go ahead and give you guys the highest limits possible. So if you avoid these mistakes, you literally be able to go ahead and get approved for any type of business funding that you're looking for. Because to be honest, guys, getting business funding is really easy as long as you know what the banks are looking for. So if you know what the banks want, they'll easily approve your application. All right, I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Go ahead and make sure to subscribe right now and get your boy to that 10K subscribers. And like always, I'll see you at the top, my boy.